Hello and welcome to Jekyll Geek's RPG Realm. I'm Jekyll Geek and this is my RPG Realm. In the last episode of my campaign, one of the players bit off a bit more than they can chew, or rather, one of the monsters bit into the player and chewed them up. So some of the players are having to start with new characters, and thus I'm restarting the campaign. What I'm going to do with creating monsters is start one of the first encounters, sort of out in the wilderness. Them walking to the town and them coming across a creature known as a warg. What is a warg, you ask? Wargs are a slightly renamed version of wergs, or renamed to not avoid to avoid uh, copyright claims from Tolkien, but the thing is, unlike most monsters, well, actually, with most monsters, it is a monster that first occurred in Dungeons and Dragons, but is considered fair use property, seeing as it appears in both Pathfinder and Shadow Dark. But we're not playing Pathfinder, Shadow Dark, or Dungeons and Dragons for this particular video, but DC 20. So we are going to create a warg for DC 20. But the first thing we need to know is what a warg is. A warg is a rather largish wolf. So I'm going to make it this a. Let's set dimensions 2 by 2, making it a large creature, which can easily do on DC 20. Well, actually, roll 20, which I use for my DC 20 games. And it is a rather nasty wolf that has goblins, often has goblins writing on it. And I'll use one of my favorite goblins, the Night Goblin. And I will bring to front so I can have the two creatures sort of on the same tile, but have them move around like as the goblin is riding on the warg. So it's basically the warg is sort of like a more carnivorous horse. Well, not that horses are carnivorous anyway. So, knowing that, let's create a monster for it. Create new monster. Let's see, I'm going to make this a level 2 monster. A large monster. Going to make it a beast. And let's see, going on this, it's 13, 2, 12. And let's see, let's figure out a role for this monster. Checking out what roles the warg was in previous editions of Dungeons and Dragons, namely fourth, when they had actual roles for the monsters, which is one of the better things about that edition. The warg was a brute, but not a very difficult one, with a bite and an ongoing damage, which I would probably just list as blade. But I'm going to use that and create the monster. 13. I'm going to make these have 15. And going to give, say, a 10 and make them more mighty than anything. They don't really have much in the way of resistances. So they have normal actions since they're just normal monsters. But I'm going to say they move a bit faster. And their big thing is that they bite people. Gonna do 2 piercing damage. and going to have a couple more enhancements. Lead, just see that, and it's save versus bleed. And since I find wolves often will try to knock down creatures in many RPGs, I'm going to say have a prone stat. Save versus prone. And let's see. Senses. Manage to smell and hearing. Give this a +1, but yeah, that's with we have pretty much all we need for a level 2 brute monster. But other part of the encounter is the goblin. And let's see what we already have stats for a goblin, which is a 0 level monster. So an 11 and 11. Hmm. I'm thinking of just bumping this up to a level 1 goblin, calling it a goblin archer. Since use the sniper. So I'm going to say close draft. Call this a worg. Okay, that's what you need to save the draft. Close draft. My monsters. I may have worg when I have to edit bring up the edited draft. See, there I have the stuff for it. And now let's create another monster. Call it a goblin archer. These guys are small. I'm gonna make them level 1. And I think I'll just bump up the hit points by 1. I since it's pretty much easy enough to slightly scale the monsters a bit. Since from making these goblins level 1 instead of level 0, since it's still within the realm of possibility. It's not like I'm throwing level 20 goblins at them. Okay, and yeah, just bring their stats up to a level 1 monster. C12. And yeah, just use the knife swarm and short bow thing. Yeah, just use all these same things. Although I looked in the Future magazine, I think goblins are not going to get dark vision, which is probably good for them. But I can just use this to melee attack. Just get the over for flanked. Let's see what called swarm. Let's short bow. And there I have my goblin. And the duck and dive. Dive to make it a +2. And I think therefore there I have the goblins I need. No, just actually just bump bump their defenses up to 12 from the 11 they were before. And there we have it. A goblin archer and some wargs. Can just create these two. And then create two more goblin archers in reserve. And the thing is, my party is going to be level 3 characters, so even so, this technically is DC, the CR limit for less than medium, but there's a lot of them, so this might be a bit dicey. I will have to see how this goes. And there I have my first encounter of the day that my players will have to face. And actually, for some flair for the campaign game, I am going to have these worgs chasing down a couple of peasants that the players will hopefully have to try to save. And if they save them, they can get information, which will be good for them. But there I have it. The first, a first adventure, first encounter for the campaign, and I hope you found this video entertaining and educational. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.